Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys. Today we're going to be doing a review of Dawn of Solace's new album, Flames of Perdition. It's a Finnish band, and it's led by two masterminds, Thomas Saukonen and Mikko Hikela. The song consists of 10 songs, and they have 2 extra songs which are live studio versions of their older songs, Lead Wings and Dead Air. If you're not aware what the band is, it's a melodic death metal, doom metal band, almost like Wolfheart, his other previous project, but it's more melodic in nature with clean vocals. And I love some good doom death metal because it has the ability to affect you on a more kind of deeper emotional level. And one band I'm totally obsessed with is like Green Carnation in that genre, and they kind of remind me of Green Carnation's A Light of Day, Day of Darkness album. Dawn of Solace is not just another Wolfheart as I thought. I had this kind of misconception about it, that it's just going to be another Wolfheart, because I've become only a recent fan of Wolfheart through reactions and your recommendations, and I didn't even get to check out much of Before the Dawn and Dawn of Solace, so I was coming in relatively fresh, so I'm guessing, oh, here we go, another Wolfheart. Man, was I wrong. It's different. It has an emotional impact. If, for example, Wolfheart has this kind of intensity, aggression about it, this album has this kind of melancholy, sadness, and just beauty to it that I would literally call music beautiful. Mikko's vocals are beautiful, and the leads and kind of all the guitar work that's happening. For those who are not aware, Tomas plays all the instruments in this band. He's quite a creative guy. He's kind of a force of nature when it comes to music creativity. And if I had to pick songs out of the album, if I really liked, I'll pick The Flame of Perdition, Dying Light, White Noise, but honestly speaking, it's the whole freaking album is good. And I think it's the way it's designed, the way it's written, and I think it's true of all Tomas's work, it's meant to be listened from beginning to the end. It's not like a song you can pick on and be like, oh, I really, really like this song. I mean, it can happen on occasion, but I think the way it's written is meant to be listened as a whole, one entire kind of a universe. And it's no different with this particular album because it just flows really nicely. There's nice breaks, there's a nice pacing to the album, and it's just impeccably written. I would say it's a combination of Mikko's vocals, like I said, which are just beautiful, and Tomas's musical composition, what really makes this album truly amazing, because they seem to work off each other extremely well on this album. And I would even say it's Tomas's best work to date that I've heard. And I've listened to 4 Wolfheart albums. I haven't listened to all of them yet, so I got an idea of what he's kind of all about. And I'm confident in saying that this is a person who is not comfortable with sitting in one place. He needs to keep moving forward. He needs to keep doing things. He needs to keep creating. And there's so much inspiration in this album, and it just sounds so good right off the bat that you can tell it's his best work, and there was a lot of heart in this album. And I would say I love Wolfheart, but I have to say most likely this is the pinnacle of Tomas's career, and he's just one of those guys. I think he's meant to be a musician. He was born to be a musician and to write music, because he's just like breathes in music comes, I think, because he's produced so many different projects over the course of his career, which I didn't know spanned from 1999 with his various projects. With this album in particular, when I say you could pick out songs, there's a whole element to it that I think is true of Wolfheart, and that's true of Before the Dawn, at least what I've heard, is it's not fun, catchy songs. Doom metal requires patience, I believe, and a lot of death metal, and some especially kind of more progressive melodic death metal, it requires patience because it's not an easy hook, it's not an easy jump in, it's not sometimes even an easy listen. And it is true of this album. It requires patience. It requires you to sit down and just sink yourself into the music and see what's happening. But I also think that this particular album, right from the get-go, it hit me. I listened to it 4 times for the review, and I got it from the first one. It only just improved with each listen as I was listening to, kind of appreciating the artistry at work. I really think he is an extremely creative and passionate person, and that's, to me, very infectious about a person, to see somebody who's into their music, into their art so much, because I'm the same way in the things that I love. So I have a kind of a personal connection with him there. I'm really excited to actually interview him and see how it goes and pick his brain about the whole album and writing process, because I hope to ask him questions perhaps that he's never been asked before, or at the very least in the way that he's never been asked. In terms of the album itself, I don't see anybody who's a fan of Wolfheart, Dawn of Solace, Before the Dawn, or any of his other projects not liking this. Because especially if you're into melodic death metal, especially if you're into doom metal and into goth metal, it checks all the boxes in the best kind of way. I said this from the beginning, I don't think his music particularly breaks any genre or invents a new genre, but within the genre that he chose to play, he does it extremely competently, and he does it so well. And for those who are looking for that, you're gonna get it. Almost like Moon Sorrow, Thriving, Insomnium, all these kind of doom metal bands who've really evolved. As Insomnium, Amorphous, all these bands evolved, so has Tomas, and I'm using him personally because all of his projects kind of evolve with time, and he only just gets better and better, I think so. With that being said, I would love to hear from the fans as well, kind of what is your opinion, what did you think of it? Did it connect with you, did you like it? With some of the songs perhaps that you've heard so far, and of course when the album comes out this Friday, I would love to hear from you guys as well. But I was extremely happy listening to this album. I was enjoyed the whole time, and I tend to have fatigue from music sometimes. Like I'll listen to an album, like okay, I need to move on to something else. I just kept listening to it back and back because the emotional counterpart is missing in a lot of heavy metal. Some heavy metal, a lot of heavy metal that I listen to, they have the technicality and it's just badass. A lot of bands I listen to, they're just badass bands like Bolt Thrower. They're badass, but they're not emotional. And to have you feel something beyond this like cool adrenaline, dopamine kind of effect, it gives you something different. It makes you feel more breadth of emotions, and I didn't even get too much into the lyrics yet, which is a whole other thing. It's just also kind of the way I listen to music. I tend to listen to the music first, get into that, and then dive deeper into lyrics if I really dig the band. But his vocal performance from Miko, mwah, loved it. But I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I don't want to extend it beyond what I have to. I like doing shorter reviews for albums because I just explode all the emotions that I have so you can understand what I felt and how I liked it and what I liked about it in the best way that I can. I feel like 10-15 minute reviews are just kind of pulling it out of the ass personally. With that being said, guys, make sure you enjoy the rest of your day, and if you enjoy these kinds of reviews, you enjoy the interviews I try to get, if you have requests for interviews I kind of take in the back of my head, or reaction kind of requests, I take them all in. And make sure you enjoy the rest of your day, stay safe, and keep it metal.